Good morning. Good morning from Los Angeles. Welcome to Trading with Sergio. Red Hat is on. All right, what's going on? Well, obviously we're getting a nasty sell-off. Definitely AI names are getting smashed. A lot of the ex-guru stocks are getting smashed. So I have positions that are a little bit underwater at the moment, but then nothing that I cannot manage. I'm not touching any of the AI stuff, but I I nibbled into a couple of my new pivot list, which is the 52-week high list, and it starts today. The I'm not going to mess with any of these AI or power generators or data center names until they get to where I think there's a trade. And so patience is going to be utmost important. So good morning from beautiful sunny Los Angeles, getting ready for the holidays. Hope everybody did their shopping already. And unfortunately, not much shopping going on in the stock market world. It obviously, the AI stocks, chip stocks, related stocks are definitely getting questioned, and some are getting shot, and these are big companies. Okay. At the same time, the headline of today's live stream is what? Quiet before the storm? Question mark in stocks and crypto. It does seem like a little bit of a correlation is back on, meaning crypto is following stocks again. Talked about liquidity and the lack of liquidity due to the carry trade not being present. God forbid if we start unwinding, I don't know what will happen. But again, and again, it's not a stock market. It's a market of stocks. Market's only 3% from its all-time high, while a lot of these stocks are down 40-50% already. My question, again, it was a month ago when we had the little whoosh to the downside. What will happen to these stocks if the market sells off 15-20% or 10%? Are these stocks that are already down 40-50% that you're holding in your portfolio, do they belong there? They don't belong in mine, but the questioning of the AI trade is definitely in play. Santa rally, I said that on Monday during Trading with Sergio. No Santa rally this year. It's pretty obvious now. A lot of nerves are getting tested, and which is what the stock market is supposed to do, right? Market's supposed to test you, and where you step in. I see on X. Actually, I stopped going to X for other than reading some news. I never did pay attention to these gurus who were bullish all the way up. Now they're bullish all the way down. That's not a way to trade. Now, if you're an investor, different story. Maybe after this sell-off, there may be some opportunities presented. But as a trader, I cannot ride and up and down. I cannot do the roller coaster ride. It is not good for your account. It's not good for your mental state. It's not good for your relationships, honestly, because look, everybody does get affected. It's money. Money what makes the world go around. I'd rather have it than not have it. And if you keep saying buy all these stocks, you're going to have less money. So what I'll do today is let me post a link if anybody wants to come on, more than welcome to, from X or YouTube. Grab the link and definitely do come on. We can discuss whatever you guys want to discuss. We can discuss macro tomorrow. On the macro side, CPI numbers are coming out. That's going to be a market mover, I'm pretty sure. Technically, the market's on the verge of breaking down. There's no question about it. It's a little bit of a rollover going on. We're on the 50 EMA, and we tested it yesterday, bounced. Today, it seems like we're giving up the ghost. Depends how the close is today. Again, the market's only 3% from all-time highs, no need to panic. But then underneath, a lot of things are moving. Crypto seem like the next leg is coming up. Next leg, I mean, on the downside. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be very interesting. It's also very interesting that Robinhood is allowing now retail to short, which is, I think, great. I don't know how many of them will do, because I think they only think stonks only go up, and stonks only don't go up, stonks go down. And when they do go down, they go 3 times as fast as they go up. But I don't think anybody's used to it, because they don't have a concept of history. They haven't seen the dot-com bubble. They haven't seen the GFC, 08 GFC. They haven't, they all started getting involved in a shooting fish in a barrel type of a market, which started with the pandemic. And they think that's how the markets go. That is not how the markets move. This grind higher over the last 2-3 years is not how the markets behave. And my concern for all those folks, not for myself, my concern for all those folks is that since they don't have concept of what could happen, their risk management is lacking as it is, and it's just going to be tough for these folks. And hopefully they don't blow accounts, because I see a lot of people made a lot of money over the last 3 years. It's not, anybody can make money when the market's going up. The question is, how do you keep it? And the way you keep it is with laser focused money management tools. And I'm pretty sure none of them have that. And I did a video about that, the pivot and all that stuff. You guys can go check it out on the YouTube channel. It's available. It's free. It is definitely testing the nerves of even the staunchest bulls out there. I mean, a lot of people follow Tom Lee, obviously, and he's the guru. And look, my hat's off to him. He's been correct all this time. Even he said that we may have a correction in 2026. Look, whatever the guy is saying is what he's saying. He's a popular dude at the moment. Why is my Know Your Worth shirt upside down? Is it better? Or maybe I'm sitting crooked. I don't know. So we're going to see. It's not a MAGA hat. It's red, though. It's my market red day hat. Anyway, so we'll see. We'll see where things are going to go. Like I said, in 2026, my trading is going to be very focused on rotation and whatever groups are doing better. And I put a video out about that actually on Monday. Please go check it out. Numbers don't lie. Math is very simple, folks. I said this 1,000,000 times before, so go check the video out. You don't have to have a 90% win rate like a lot of these fools out there, contend that they do. If you had 90% win rate, you should be 10xing your account every year. If you introduce a little bit of money management. Not possible. Yeah, let's answer some questions. Hey, Doug, what's up? Good morning. John, good morning. Sentinel-1 Bull. It is now that many retail investors are regretting not having preconceived plan to manage risk. I 100% agree. Managing risk is something that people don't understand or don't care much about, but I think there's 2 points that retail is missing. Retail is definitely missing positioning or position size, and hand in hand goes with that is risk management / money management. It's not just risk management. You got to manage money. Managing money comes with looking at your account value. If you're comfortable with your account value going from for example, 10K to 5K, back to 12K, back to 4K, all power to you. But then you must understand the math behind that. If you have a $10,000 trading account, not investing, and you let it go to 5K, that's down 50%. And a lot of people think, oh, it'll just go back up 50%. It'll be fine. No, it has to go up 100% for you to get back just to where you were. That's what a lot of people don't understand. It's simple math, but then it's not taught. Because look, these people are used to holding stuff that riding the roller coaster up and down. I'm like, okay. In trading, that does not exist. In investing, maybe. You know, you buy things, hold for a couple of years or whatever. You get on a good stock. You know, you don't sell cover calls. You don't minimize your upside. Fine. But I agree 100%. They don't risk or money manage correctly. ETH and BTC look like an easy short for people right now. Not necessarily. We're definitely going to retest the low. We're kind of rolling over. One positive thing, if there is anything positive, MACD actually turned up. I do pay attention to MACD because it's very accurate when it comes to bullish and bearish divergences. I'll go through it. I think we will make a lower low here, and then we'll see. We'll see where it's going to be. Like I said, it's not my MAGA hat. I do have one, but it's not mine. It's not that. It says extra sauce. Option expiration week this week. So, you know, when the market's down, I wear the red hat. Market's up, I wear the green hat. Silver bull run. Silver gold bull run has been here, Josiah, for the last, I don't know, 2 years, 3 years. A lot of, you know, a lot of folks, a lot of big money is rotating out of dollar-denominated assets and going into gold and silver. And that's why crypto bulls are hanging on, saying, yeah, we're going to debase the currency. We're going to devalue the dollar. Where should we go in? Well, you got to be in hard assets, period. So otherwise, there's no protection. Yeah, I mean, it's a little extended for my liking, but gold looks like it's going to print 5,000 in 2026. And, you know, we have a saying in my world, the trend is your friend. Where's the trend on crypto? Down. Where's the trend in gold? Up. Where's the trend in silver? Up. Where's the trend in stocks? Questioning, but definitely up at the moment. And then short term, medium, and long term, right? Long term, definitely up. Medium, intermediate term, definitely up. Short term, it's getting a little bit of a, you know, getting a little bit of a hairy situation. Do I have a portfolio? Yes, I have some gold. I also DCA into crypto, just Bitcoin, nothing else. I do trade the proxies. I'm from the Middle East. I was born in a country where inflation runs 50% a year. I have learned a long time ago, at a young age, how to protect, because our currency was toilet paper. Funny enough that I came to the US and go to college and go to Wall Street, and that never left me. And how funny it is that we're exactly doing the same thing since actually 2008 in this country, right? Dollar is losing its buying power by 6, 7, 8% per year, unlike the government telling you 2.5% inflation. Bullshit. And if you're in hard assets, you got to get into hard assets. That's the only way to protect yourself. Tom Lee said 150. Who gives a shit about Tom Lee, bro? Honestly. I think you're following. I think you're in such a bad position with your, I know you're the BMNU guy, right? You're in such a tight spot that I would just turn off all the noise. Price is the price, sir. Price is right in front of you. Tom Lee cannot move the price. God cannot move the price. Okay? Price is the price. I think you're hanging on by a thread listening to Tom Lee. Tom Lee is just another human, just like me, just like you. I do respect the man. I don't think he knows anything more than anyone else. The market knows best, and the price is the price. Can't argue with it. Okay. Good morning, Manny P. Yeah, okay, cool. Gold has outperformed the S&P 500. Yeah, this year, last year and a half, yes. Gold has even outperformed crypto. But, I mean, as a holder of value, is it an inflation hedge? I don't know. Look, all these asset classes are going up because we keep printing and spending. That's not going to change anytime soon. Once in a while, there is a disconnect, correlation kind of goes away, and then it comes right back. I said this a couple of days ago, and at least last week on Trading with Sergio and Power Hour, that I see a little bit of a tough going, for the first couple of months of the year until the new Fed chief comes in, and then there's going to be a direct phone line between the White House and the Fed. Although the Fed, is oddly enough, the new Fed chief, Bassett, and all the governors are talking, yeah, Fed should stay independent. Bullshit. Fed's not going to stay independent. White House is going to be the Fed. Treasury is going to be the Fed. Treasury is going to run the Fed. So, I mean, look, to me, the game is pretty simple. There's midterm elections coming up. I don't think the Republicans are going to win if things are about the same or where we are. So, okay, what do we need to do? We need to turn on the machines. We need to print. We need to get the economy going. And the important thing in all of this is understand the relationship. You can't day trade by listening to these folks or thinking about macro, but I do think about macro because I have a long-term portfolio that I look at, obviously, and I try to take care of and pick stocks in there that are going to outperform. But on the trading side, short term, it's just swing trading. Trend is your friend. You watch Gerald? No, I don't. I don't even know who that guy is. I think I've been around more than Gerald, whoever that guy is. Gerald Salente. That was one of the first things that was taught to me on the desk. The trend is your friend. If you can figure out where the trend is at. Higher highs, higher lows. Uptrend. Lower lows, lower highs. Downtrend. There's nothing more, nothing less. I don't watch what that guy is. I really don't care. I don't listen to my wife. I wouldn't listen to my mother about trading. So I'll just do my thing, stay in my lane, manage. Josiah is active today. Keynesian economics is ruining the dollar. There's a little bit more than that. The dollar has been getting ruined for a while now. Okay, since 2008, actually, it was going on. Actually, it all started with synthetic money creation when we went off the gold standard, and after that, all these dollars got created. But then it totally accelerated. It began to warp speed after 2008 GFC, and we can't put the genie back in the box. We have no fiscal discipline, and monetary policy follows broken fiscal policy, and that's what we're going to do. That's the only way. Inflate out of the debt. Inflate. That's the only thing we can do. Obviously, we can't control our urge to spend more than we take in. Okay. Well, we have the deficits. Okay. How do we balance the budget? We print 2-3 trillion a year. And that's what we're going to keep doing. There's nothing else we can do. And then it's probably going to accelerate because the Republicans, I'm sure, want to win the midterm elections or at least not lose, the House or the Senate or obviously executive branch is not in question. But, Republicans lose one of the branches of the House. It's game over. Not much is going to get done. It's going to be deadlock. And yeah, exactly. I mean, at least Josiah knows a little bit of what he's talking about. Yeah, I mean, there is no ifs and buts about it. Dollar has been getting weaker for the last 20 years. It's just accelerating now because the snowball effect is taking place now. It all started with a literally the snowball. Now we're down to an avalanche, and it's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And all this money has to go somewhere. It's getting created. The synthetic dollars are getting created every day by the billions. Where is that money going to go? It's going to go into some assets, go into silver, gold, stocks, carry trades, all these wonderful things that people have done. So, you know, is there any bullish case for BTC or shares? No, I think actually that's 95% in the market. See, this is the funk 1080. You would probably benefit if you join my Telegram chat group. Because I think you're just a news reader. Don't read the news. Start thinking. I think it's 90% in the market. Plus, maybe 95%. The whole world knows about that. And what do the markets do? Markets price things before anything else happens, just like with earnings. You know, earnings would be great on a company, and the next day stock would go down, and all the retail goes, earnings were great. Why did the stock go down? Yeah, because it went way up before the earnings. So buy the news, sell the fact. And in this case, it may be sell the fact already and buy the news. So that's already in the market. I don't think much is going to change. I really don't think so. Unless there is some massive delevered positions that need to get unwound and all that stuff. But that's technical stuff, structural stuff. Everybody knows. Is there any BTC? No, it's in a downtrend. Until the downtrend stops and neutralizes itself and starts turning up. Lower lows, lower highs, my man. It's no ifs and buts about it. BMNR and 50 billion shares pending approval January 15. Nothing. As long as MNAV stays above 1, they're going to keep doing ATM sales and buy Ethereum to get up to 5% in order for them to stake. They've been doing it anyway. It's like a technicality. You have to get the approval of the shareholders in order for you to be able to do ATM sales at the market sales. That's what Tom Lee is doing. Literally every week, they're buying hundreds of millions of dollars in ETH. And with all that buying, ETH is still going down, right? Okay, so my point in all of this is nobody knows what's going to happen, but that's a technicality. So, because if you're already up to your float or allowed shares outstanding, you can't create more shares without shareholder approval. So that's what they're doing. That's fine. You know, I mean, a lot of people look at it as dilution. I don't think it's dilutive. I mean, it is dilutive. Obviously, you're offering more shares. But then again, BMNR is you know, a lot of people have the wrong idea about BMNR. You know, a lot of people think BMNR moves by itself. And BMNR is not a stock. BMNR has no earnings. BMNR has nothing. The only thing they have is something called MNAV, and that has a value, which is ETH holdings. Their ETH holdings are what they have. If Ethereum goes down, BMNR is going to go down. If Ethereum goes up, BMNR is going to go up. That's it. There's no ifs, there's no buts. And, you know, they haven't done what Saylor is doing over there. You know, Saylor is in a little bit of a trouble. I'm thinking they're going to force, you know, him to see his whites of his eyes, as we call it on the desk in the old days. You know, there's a lot of talk that MSCI kick him out of the MSCI index, which would be very interesting. I think the market tests you. The market's testing Saylor to see if he's going to have to sell shares, right? Because he has convertibles that come in due in about 3-4 years. And if Bitcoin goes sideways for the next 3 years, where's the money going to come from? There's billions of convertibles out there. And then now he's doing preferreds. Like, I mean, he's all in every which way possible. So, but BMNR, yeah, sure, why not? You know, a lot of people again think BMNR is BMN by itself. No, BMNR is not going to go up a tick without. The only problem I see with that is that even if they do get the approval, is at the moment BMNR MNAV is all the way down to 1.1, and if it goes under 1, because they're the only one above 1, only that digital asset treasury company that's above 1. So when it goes under 1, doesn't make sense for you to sell shares. It's like eating your own flesh, right? You should be buying back shares, actually, if you're under 1. And I'm dealing with one called SBET, and all the other ones are down to 0.8 now. And MSTR is under 0.8. I mean, not point, I mean, 1.0. It started at 2.2. So MNAV is getting crushed, and these stocks are going down. So these stocks can go down if MNAV goes under 1. And I believe there is no reason for any of these DATs selling at a premium. None. Zero. Well, sure, one by one, they all got shot, and then MSTR is under 1 now, and BMNR is going to be next. So when BMNR gets under 1, and under 1, by the way, does not mean that it's going to stay there. It could go to 0.8, 0.9, and then what? Then BMNR goes further, lower, faster than Ethereum will. So you have, all of you have to understand this correlation, and I've done a lot of videos on the channel about this. Go check them out. It explains to you how MNAV moves and how important it is, besides the Ethereum price itself, which is the underlying. So look at it as Ethereum is the dog, BMNR is the tail. If the dog moves, the tail will move. A guy shorting 1 million knows like this. Look, man, again, I don't know how to help you. You are constantly on X. You're reading all the stuff that everybody already should understand and knows. I mean, this is the reason you got in trouble, and I don't think unless you stop doing this, you're gonna stay out of trouble. A guy shorting 1 million ETH on X as the thesis, then Tom Lee runs on him. No, Tom Lee. I disagree. But then again, look, man, I don't know. I feel for you, but then I still think you're looking at all the wrong stuff. If you're going to be successful at this and not blow your account, you can't do this. You have to start thinking like for yourself. What's happening here? Okay, I'm stuck in a trade. Why don't you get out? Because you're saying all the negative stuff, or you're reading all the stuff out there, which is meaningless because everybody knows the same thing already. None of them know more than anybody else. So why don't you just clean up? Save whatever you have left. You know, taking losses, man. Right? If you manage money and then took a 10% loss, you wouldn't be here. So I'm not trying to bash you, bro. I'm feel for you, but you know, everything you put up is about this guy said this, Tom Lee said that, this guy. Start thinking for yourself. Start thinking why, how, and then trade structure. So anyway, let's go to positions. I'll come back and answer some questions. Okay, all right. So where are we? Where are we? You guys can see that, I'm sure. All right, so what is going on today? Obviously, we're going down. We're on the 50 EMA. I'll go through the positions in a second. What have I done today? I started buying some Sienna calls today, just a directional bet. And let's go to the positions. I'm long 750 ASST leaps. Long term, I'm bullish on Bitcoin. Short term, I'm not sure. Now this might be a new position. This was a $14,000 profitable position. If I got called away, no, it doesn't look like I'm going to get called away. In fact, it looks like I'm going to get assigned more shares, which I will take, and then it'll create a full position. My cost on the shares is 778, and we're up to 12, right? You have cover calls, and then that's what holds you in, but it's fine. So I'm going to get assigned 1,500 more shares. Will put me up to 5,000 shares, lower cost basis. Calls obviously are going to expire worthless because I have put up 8, 9, 10, 11 calls. You know, 8 calls I had taken in $1.20, 9 calls 95 cents, 10 calls 70 cents, 11 calls $1.20. So those are all going to expire worthless. So lower cost basis some more. I sold some more puts today and this week. I sold 6 puts expiring on Friday for 50 cents. So I'll buy another 500 shares at 550. I sold the 7 puts at 65 cents. I'll buy another 500 shares at 635, and I sold the 8 puts at 45 cents a couple days ago, and I'll buy more shares at 755. So that will lower my cost basis to probably, after the calls expiring worthless, my cost basis may be under 7. And then a couple of cycles of selling calls. Unfortunately, they don't have weeklies on this, but a couple of cycles of selling calls, my cost basis will be pretty low. But I'm going to hold off selling calls on this, so we'll see. I'm long 5,000 shares of BZAI, which is about to get jettisoned once the calls expire. 243 my cost. We're at 215. This is a new position. I've started buying Sienna. 250 calls expiring in January. I'm up to 15 lots. I got some more orders down there. And yeah, it's a bounce back trade. I do like the company. It's a $50 pullback already. I'll be fine. But again, this starting with this position, everything is going to be managed very, very tightly. So on options, I'm not more than 10% of account equity is going to be allocated to any position. And for stocks, 25, 12 and a half is going to be the rule, meaning stock gains 25%. I'm out. Stock loses 12 and a half percent. I'm out. And that's why after expiration, BZAI is going to be jettisoned because I'm over actually 12.5%, but that was bought before then. Same thing. And with options, it's going to be 50, 25. So options are a lot more volatile, a lot quicker, obviously. Doesn't mean that I'm going to cap it at 50% on the upside on the options. If I have a runner, obviously I'm going to allow it to take its, do its thing. But on the downside, 25% is the cutoff. And I was long 150 neo calls. I'm down to 25, took profits. I have them for sale, and we'll see how that goes. Those are January 5 calls. Stock is 493. And that's about it. That's where we are. It's BMNU, obviously. If the stock is above 6, the 5 puts will expire worthless. And, my cost basis at least is reasonable. Again, I will not put out, if I do get assigned all the 1,500 shares, get up to 5,000 shares, I will definitely, on a bounce, look either to sell calls or just, take the money. And, premiums are there, luckily, for me to be able to come out of this. But then this goes to show what can happen in a week. A week ago, I was looking at a $15,000 gain. At the moment, I'm looking at a $6,000 loss. So that's the markets for you, folks. But again, it's volatile enough that I can get my ass out of this. If nothing else, I can sell some calls going out to January. And the call premiums are pretty healthy. Since my cost basis is going to be under 7, I'm not too far. This thing can move $1 today to 7. So looking at the January calls, I won't be greedy. I'll put out probably 8, 9, 10s again on a bounce, obviously, and lower the cost basis some more. So that's where we are. But a lot of people. A lot of people are looking at the wrong stuff, but hey, it is what it is. I created a 52-week high list for myself. Sienna was the first one out of that list that I bought. And so, yeah. Okay, let's look at ETH and actually, let's look at the big boys. Okay. I don't think that did. That was on the wrong tick. Let's look at SPX. SPX closing under 50 MA will push probably us lower. MACD is rolling over. It's on a sell at the moment. And yeah, I mean, this looks pretty toppy to me. So Again, what will happen to all the other stuff, right? Okay, so here's Ethereum. This is the Ethereum. I mean, look, we're retesting the lows. We broke down. This is chopsticks, folks. We broke down. We came up to exactly where we should come up to and stopped. The only thing is MACD turned up, so obviously MACD is going to go roll over now. If we go low, if we go make a lower low, I am pretty sure MACD is not going to make a lower low, and then we may be setting up for a bullish possible bullish divergence. But then this is nasty. I mean, it's a downtrend. There's no ifs and buts about it. And same thing is happening with IBIT, which is the ETF for Bitcoin. Ask about the retest to low. It looks like a lower low, lower high, and then not much else to be said. And pain is definitely there. Here's MSTR, 164. Looks like rolling over again. Here's BMNR. What is there to say? It's going to retest probably 24, 25, whatever that low was. Yeah, 25. So, yeah, I mean, yeah, things are definitely shaky at best. And what's in my 52-week high list? Why did I buy Sienna? I'm giving it a shot here. It's about 205. We're right at the 20 EMA. Earnings were great. Upgrades came through. Volume is good. Volume is kind of drying off. We may get to the 50 EMA, which is 189, but by then I'll be way out, and then I'll just get back into different cycles. So, you know, if it holds here, fine. We can a little bounce back. Okay. We're at the not only 20 EMA, but a Bollinger middle band, so it should be all right. If not, we'll take our loss and get the heck out of Dodge. We will certainly not let them go to zero. That's a fact. And yeah, those are the positions. Not much really. Still 70% cash. Not much else is going on. Even on a day like today, so I would like to share something with you folks. Please create a 52-week high list. This is the 52-week high list for today. And look how many stocks there are. All these stocks are making 52-week highs, okay? And you got to be in these types of stocks, Albemarle's and ACR's and all these stocks. There are a lot of bank stocks in here. And my point is this: there are stocks that go up. My problem with X and all these gurus is that if you go on X, there's only the same 10 stocks are talked about on Mag 10. That's about it, as if there's no other stocks. There's literally 7,000 plus stocks on Amex, New York Stock Exchange, and NASDAQ, and New York Stock Exchange and NASDAQ, 5,000 stocks. There's 5,000 choices. What this does is this shows you rotation. This shows you where the money is going. Because the money doesn't come out and go to cash. Money comes out and goes, rotates. At least you will have an idea about rotation. Even on the worst day, and today is a really nasty down day, there's like 100 and some stocks making a 52-week highs. Why do you have to be involved in BMNR and BMNU and this and that, as opposed to, these? I don't know. I don't understand. That's why people are just stuck talking about ASTS and, the usual suspects and this and that and IREN, and they're all in downtrends. I mean, I wouldn't buy them with your money. So, you just look at this kind of list every day and then pick yourself some fundamentally and technically strong stocks. All these stocks are technically strong, obviously. They're making 52-week highs. So if you're a wheeler, I think this is your spot, right? You guys like selling puts, and then if you do get assigned, sell calls. And this is the list to look at. There's like I said, 5,000 stocks. And if I were to look at my list that I started last week, there's about 20-some names in there. And here it is. Let me go to that list. Let me go to that list. So NASDAQ's down 330. It's on its ass. S&P down 1%. NASDAQ down 1.5%. I have 30 stocks in there in that list, and I will keep adding. So let's take a look at some of those stocks, okay? Compare that to the pain and BMNR, BMNU, this and garbage and NVIDIA and whatever. So here's NVIDIA. Actually, let's go through a couple of these, AI stocks. There's NVIDIA, definitely retested 200 coming up. Here's PLTR. Everybody loves these stocks. That's a short, I'm sure. Here's Hood. Yeah, 200 EMA is probably a good buy. $100 on that one. I'm just going with technicals. Okay, here's SoFi. Everybody talks about these 5 stocks. I'm like, there's no other stocks on the planet, bro. And then I'll put up my list after that. How different those look. Okay. Tesla was in my 52-week high list. On this retest or pullback, I will definitely be buying TSLL, not Tesla. And then let's go with Oracle. Look at this disaster. I mean, stock got cut in half. This is Oracle, folks. Okay. Where are the put buyers on Oracle? I mean, put sellers on Oracle. How do you get out of this mess? I don't know. Here's everybody talks about IREN. I mean, it's under 200 EMA. Here's Oklo. Breaking the 200 EMA now. Here's Bloom Energy. I'll probably give that a crack at about 65 at the 200 EMA because it's wild enough that we can get in and out of that without too much of a headache. NBIS is another one. Ex-favorite. There it is. Testing the 200 EMA. If it takes that out, we're out of there, right? Lower lows, lower highs. A lot of the quantum names. Here's Rigetti, down 60% already. Okay, market sells off another 10%. Where's Rigetti going to be? I don't know. Teens. Momentum is a powerful thing both ways, folks. But now, all these stocks are in downtrend. Crypto's in a downtrend. But then, are there stocks that are going up? Well, let's take a look. American Eagle Outfitters. Looks like an uptrend to me. Affirm. Just about it broke out yesterday. Continuation today. Market's on its ass. The stock is green. Okay, folks? And AEO is down 4 cents. Albemarle. New 52-week high. Okay? Why don't you guys deal with these as opposed to deal with the usual bullshit names? And then people cry. Here's a pullback that I'm going to buy. Amcor. Great uptrend. Pulling back to support. If you're going to buy something, buy stuff like this. ASYS. Amtech Systems. Look at that. Right? Okay. So there are stocks that go up. ATI. I'm just giving you guys my list. New 52-week high, just consolidating now before it makes a new high. Sienna, I showed. Sienna pulled back to where it should be bought, so I'm giving it a shot. If it goes lower with the market, okay, we're out of there. Here's Dollar General. New 52-week high. Here's Dollar Tree. New 52-week high or close to it. Here's FN. Fabrinet. That's actually getting into the buy point. That's on the 50 EMA. So if you guys are going to give it a crack, maybe. Fastly. These are the stocks on the 52-week high list. And you just buy on pullbacks. Here's GE Verona. And a 52-week high, pulling back into support. Those are the pullbacks that got to look at. Gildan Activewear. I see. These are the stocks you guys need to deal with. As opposed to HIMS and whatever. Here it is. What's wrong with this one? Immunovant. Yeah, there may be names you guys don't know. So what? So what? Here's Light. Momentum Holdings. 52-week high, pulling back. All these are buy on pullbacks. Because they're going to go make a new 52-week high. Here's Lemonade, one of my favorites. Does it look like the stock cares about the market going down? No. People get, look at stuff. So here's Path. UiPath. Pulling back into support. There's a gap down to 15 range. I may give this a shot. Low volume. Good earnings. Pulling back now. These are the ones I'm looking at. At least they're not in downtrends. That's all I'm trying to say. Planet Labs. Pulling back into support. Just on low volume. So that's the key. They made 52-week highs. They're pulling back into support. When the market bottoms, whenever it is, and starts turning up, these are the stocks going to go green immediately first. Photolab. I mean, Photronics, never mind. Great earnings, gapped up. You wouldn't chase it, but then pullbacks should be bought on that. SanDisk. Consolidating, going sideways before it goes higher. I'm just going through my list of 20-some names. Sensata Technologies made a 52-week high, pulling back into support. They're all the same. Tesla, same thing. Textron. What's wrong with that chart? I don't see anything wrong with that one. Here's Wheaton Precious Metals. 52-week high, pulling back. Here is Wave Life Sciences, gapped up, great earnings, kind of consolidating here. And the last one is Yeti. And there it is, 52-week high, pulling back to support. So, these are all the same moves here, right? 52-week high, pull back. What do we buy? Oh, we bought more Sienna. Market must be really tanking now. Let's take a look. Yep, market's really tanking now. It definitely is. SPY. Yep, market's falling apart now. It's fine. Yeah, it is what it is. So we're up to 20 Sienna now. And let's get up to 25. Let's buy 5 more. January 250s. Bought more at 250. Let's buy more at 225. And we'll figure it out. So 25 will be about 6%. So that's fine. Look at BMNU, 575. I mean, how do you deal with that? I don't know. Could it go to 5, 4, 3? Yeah, it sure could. Certainly could. You know what? I'm going to chuck these Neos. I don't need the fucking headache. Let's get them out of there at 28 cents. Yeah, the market's taking it in the butt. For sure. All right. Yeah, I'll go to the front to answer some questions. It definitely looks like I'm going to get assigned all the BMNUs, which is fine. Lower some cost basis, but nice and easy. Yeah, market's definitely on its butt. And yeah, it's just nasty. And nasty without actually a big sell-off. I mean, again and again, market's only literally 2% from its all-time high. Not even. 2%, yeah. And these stocks are already getting smashed. Patience. Gotta wait. Gotta be patient. So CNR cost basis is 280. $2. And it's a trade. BMNU making a lower low, 572. Yeah, I'm definitely going to get assigned. And Ethereum selling off. I'm sure it is. Yep. Yeah, definitely lower lows. Okay. Okay. Let's answer some questions. Go have some cup of coffee. Okay, no questions. SpaceX looking at $1.5 trillion IPO. I have no idea. I don't even know what you're talking about. You have to go IPO. I mean, I don't know what part of ARKV is SpaceX. So you may not get the total boost that you may be looking for. I don't know what's an ARKV. I know it's a Cathy Wood thing, right? I am not sure. What will happen with them? Nothing will happen with them. It doesn't mean ARKV is going to sell at the IPO, the SpaceX shares. They may sell some, they'll hold some, whatever it is. And if they got into the private markets, obviously their valuation has gone up. So ARKV shares in itself must have benefited from it. Let's take a look at ARKV. I didn't even know they existed, honestly. There's talk about data centers in space too. Yeah, because when you know what it is, when people run out of excuses why AI should continue, now they're going to build data centers in space. All right, whatever works. You know we're getting stretched here, right? Data centers in space. We can hardly we can hardly send satellites to space. We're going to build a data center. Okay, cool. This is what happens, folks. Too much Kool-Aid. Not to you, Doug. I'm talking in general. That's what people do. People have to grasp on something. Okay, cool. ARKV. Does that even exist? Or is that some sort of a private thing? It's not public? I don't know. Is that an ETF? I'm not sure. I don't know. I do not know. What's up, Jeff Goldblum? I'll take that as a compliment. I don't think I look like Jeff Goldblum. A lot of people say I look like the CEO of Uber, which, well, I know. He's not a friend, but it's an acquaintance. A lot of people say if you grow a beard like him, you look like him. He's not a liked person, but I'll take Jeff Goldblum over Dara Khosrowshahi any day. So, yeah, folks, that's where we are. Nobody wants to come on. Yeah, that's where we are. We put the order in on Sienna. Yeah, market's nasty. Just nasty. Freaking nasty. We'll see. We'll see by Friday where BMNU is going to end up and if I'm going to get assigned or not assigned. So we shall see. Okay. If there's no more questions, I'm going to go have a cup of coffee. Did I? No, not yet. Not yet. I mean, I'm also trying to be sensitive. I'm trying to look at the 52-week high list and pullbacks at the moment. Making a new high when the market's selling off, and if the sell-off accelerates, again, you can make that to your Bible, because what will happen is that those stocks are outperforming, obviously. If they're green on a day like today, then what happens if the market bottoms and turns up? Then they're all going to fly. So there's two things that comes with the 52-week high list. Obviously, sector rotation, that you're going to be in the right stocks. Okay, number one. Number two, you're going to be in the outperforming stocks as opposed to underperforming stocks. So underperforming meaning market goes down 1%, your stock goes down 4%. The market goes up 1%, your stock is unchanged. That's why on the bounce, a lot of accounts don't improve because they're underperforming on the way up, they're underperforming on the way down. On the 52-week high list, they're outperforming on the way up for sure, and they're outperforming on the way down, meaning they're staying unchanged or green down a little bit as opposed to multi-percentage points. So it will not only save you headache, but when the market goes down, everything will go down, folks. Okay, but you will lose less with a 52-week high list, without a question. Not only that, if you get on the right sectors, exactly like I showed you guys, there's 100 and some stocks making 52-week highs today, although the market's on its ass. Okay, so my thing is when a stock makes a 52-week high list on earnings or whatever it is, and then an uptrend is higher highs, higher lows, it's very unlikely that where you buy is the absolute top tick and the uptrend is over. Then you're going to consider yourself the unluckiest person on the planet. So on these pullbacks, shallow pullbacks, while the market's selling off, is the time to enter these stocks if you didn't chase the 52-week high. So there is a method to this madness. No, I did not initiate a position though. But stock is green or down a little bit today and what will happen to the stock when the market turns? It's going to take off. go to 100. Any news on adoption time frame and the Clarity Act goes to? I have no idea. It's supposed to be in 2026. Again, all these things mean nothing to me. To me, anyway. Price is the price. Don't argue with price. Just go with price. That's the indicator. That's as simple as I can put it to you guys. So be calm, be cool. It'll be fine. You know, I mean, I feel for you who are stuck in certain positions, but you can always get out. You know, hope and pray is not a strategy. You can always get out. Like a BMNU, I'm in BMNU. I was a $15,000 profit to a $6,000 loss. Okay, I sell a cycle, buy more shares, dollar cost average, catch a falling knife, sell a couple of cycles of calls by February. You know, you'll get your 15,000 back. Well, why didn't I take the 15,000? Because I had covered calls. That's why I dislike or hate cover calls. Because cover calls don't give you any protection. Like today, stock is down 1. My calls are already at 0 yesterday. How much protection am I getting out of it? Nothing. So that's the fallacy that, you know, goes around with selling puts and selling cover calls. Cover calls limit you on the upside and don't give you the protection on the downside. And selling puts, well, sold puts on Oracle. Where are you at? I don't know. I wouldn't do it. But what I'm trying to say is it's not as simple. There's always a risk. There's always the other side of the coin. And a lot of people don't think about the other side of the coin because they're so used to for 2-3 years. Everything is working out well, you know. But anyway, so I'll be back on Friday for Power Hour with Sergio, and we'll see where things are at. On Friday, option expiration, so, you know, we'll see where VMNU is going to be. So I'm going to get assigned all 1,500 shares or 500 shares or 1,000 shares. Obviously, at the moment, the calls are going to expire worthless. And when do I sell the calls again? So, you know, it continues. The saga continues. So with that said, stay healthy. Enjoy your rest of your day. I'll be back on Friday. Thanks for the support. Please put a thumbs up. Supposedly it helps the algos. The other thing is, last but not least, I have 1 minute. Help me improve financial literacy in this country. Please go to my website, www.sergioavedian.com. I'm not selling anything. I have a free newsletter offer for that. No Discord, no Patreon, none of that bullshit. Just go subscribe and start learning how to invest. And you must invest to keep pace with what the government's doing to your dollars. And don't YOLO, don't hodl, don't do this, don't FOMO, none of that stuff. If you're going to be a trader, you're going to have to pay your tuition to Wall Street. You know, I mean, I'm trying to help with the YouTube channel and with my Telegram chat group. You know, I think I know what I'm doing, and I'm sharing my experiences over the last 30 plus years, because you cannot buy or learn experience. You have to do it. And if I can stop you from hurting yourself, I think it's a job well done. So with that said, see you guys on Friday. Have a good rest of the day.